First of all, happy anniversary, and Nadav, thank you for your service. I just want to say that. Hi, everyone, and thank you to the Birthright Israel Foundation for having me speak with you all this evening. My name is Tessa Veksler. I'm a 2020 Birthright Israel alum and also a recent graduate from the University of California, Santa Barbara, with degrees in political science and communication. But before I jump in and I tell you all about what Birthright means to me, I want to give you a little bit of a closer look into who I am. Last week, I was at Columbia University for an event, and I realized something. Most college students are very excited to be on campus. They're meeting new friends, they're joining clubs, and they're engaging in new, enriching experiences. And yet, I realized that there is a category of students excluded from this group of eager returnees, and it's the Jewish student community. I, for one, am breathing a sigh of relief that I'm no longer on campus, and although I fear very deeply for the uneasy waters that we're sending our young Jewish adults into, I will explain to you why I understand how they feel on an extreme level. When I was elected student body president of UCSB in May of 2023, I cried tears of joy, honor, and disbelief. As a daughter of Jewish immigrants from the former Soviet Union, and just as a young woman going through college, it was monumental that I was given the opportunity to take on one of the most prestigious roles at my university. At the age of 21, I was a CEO of a nonprofit organization managing a budget of over 17 million. But most importantly, I was doing this as the loud Jewish Zionist woman I am, through and through. Since October 7th, I've truly experienced some of the worst anti-Semitism on a college campus that you can possibly imagine. Distribution of flyers in the middle of the night in my neighborhood calling for my removal from office, endless harassment online, graffiti in bathroom walls on campus, security presence at my office and in meetings I was in because they were deemed locations that the university could not protect me. In February, I reached a breaking point when signs were posted in my office, in the building where my office was in, with physical threats and intimidation toward me. And so I took to the internet and I boldly defended myself. I decided that I could amplify myself and I could be the unique voice among many, the voice that steps outside the comforts of my community to share what it means to be an ally to the Jewish people, not just when our people are being murdered. Because of my role as student body president, I had to learn to balance my personal and pain and loss associated with October 7th, along with my responsibility to my community and representing the student body all at the same time. While I did not complete a single act as president that had to do with foreign policy of any kind, my term was defined by it. While being Jewish was not a part of my campaign, it became the sole part of my identity that people focused on, erasing my accomplishments, my character, and my humanity. I was expected to excel in a role that I had to fight to maintain. I had to fight against discrimination for all people while being discriminated against myself. I had to sit in rooms with administration fighting for the betterment of our campus community while feeling immense discomfort working with those that I had felt contributed to the very harm that I was experiencing. I accepted these challenges, and I embraced strength in the face of adversity for many reasons. But one that I want you all to remember is this: my duty as a Jew in the diaspora to stand up for Israel. Why did I feel this? Because when you visit Israel as a Jewish person, you feel something finally connect. This is my home too, and I have a duty to defend it, even if I'm thousands of miles away. As I mentioned earlier, I went on Birthright Israel in 2020, which was a very unconventional time. I was in a gap year program called Israel XP at Bar Ilan University, and it was also the year that COVID hit our world. And yet, my time in Israel on Birthright played a crucial role in solidifying incredible relationships, strengthening my love for my homeland, and giving me the opportunity to enjoy the best of what Israel had to offer. This remarkable memory solidifies the hope and the knowledge that we will be okay at the end of all of this, thankfully after this election tomorrow. Honestly, when the tragedy of October 7th leaves me very hopeless. Because of that experience traversing the south of Israel, I understand Israel's history, borders, and people better. This knowledge is my first line of defense when it comes to fighting the war of words for Israel's humanity. In the past, I had seen Israel only through the lens of what it meant to my family. As my family of Soviet Jewish refugees traveled through Europe in hopes of securing their trip to America, they knew that they could count on one thing: the existence of a Jewish state, not so far away, that would take them in at any time. A state whose existence I defend because my existence depends on it. It was only when I went to Israel that I finally understood this connection. My Birthright Israel tour guide, Eli, is still someone that I maintain contact with because he showed me Israel in a way that I had never seen it before, through an Israeli's eyes. Over the past year, I have used the gift I have been given of a platform and a strong voice to speak across the nation to various communities. At one of such events, I was asked what my greatest tool was as a pro-Israel advocate, and my answer was the power of lived experience. Before and after my time on Birthright, it was not uncommon for me to be questioned about my positions and knowledge about Israel on a daily basis. The only difference was that I had the power of lived experience on my side. It is this deep understanding through being in Israel that emboldened me to speak up with more conviction, pushing me to be president of Students Supporting Israel my junior year, and then taking my Jewish and Zionist identity into a non-Jewish space to set the example of someone that represented our community from the position of a change maker. According to a recent headline, I am a Jewish leader with national sway. While I don't know how true this is, my dream is that we keep creating a nation of young Jewish leaders with influence who have deep ties to Israel through trips like Birthright. And so, 4 years after my Birthright trip, here are 4 things that I now know. 1, to see is to believe. Nothing can replace the lived experience of being in Israel. It's irreplaceable knowledge. Number 2, no Jewish person should ever be turned away from a Birthright Israel trip. Number 3, programs like Birthright are changing and will continue to change American Jewish support for Israel for many years to come. And 4, the Jewish people and the Jewish state are not going anywhere. And that is exactly why we have a responsibility to secure the Jewish future every single day. As a recent graduate and as a young Jewish person in the workforce, I personally ask that you give what you can to support the Birthright Israel Foundation. For now, I use my voice to help our cause, and I hope that one day I will have the means to give back to the organizations that gave to me. But until then, I'm counting on you. We have a responsibility to keep this cycle going. So thank you so much for having me, for listening to my story, and for your support for the Birthright Israel Foundation. I'm Israel Fan.